as I was saying, anytime there's new content of any kind, there's always somebody who just DDoSes the Warframe servers. There's always somebody. I mean, it gets old, but every time something new comes out, it doesn't matter what it is, there's somebody that just attacks it. And I don't understand how weak-minded and how just deficient you are as a human being to just always want to tear something down. I don't understand it. You don't like something, leave it alone. Stay away from it. It's ridiculous. But look, it is what it is. So again, there's a couple. Handspring could go in here. You know, get them right back up. But I've got Constitution in there, so there's no real need for Handspring, because Constitution will do the same thing for you. You know what? Let's just put Rush back in here and level it up. I still haven't decided. I mean, I have no idea what kind of build this is going to wind up being. No idea. But I've got a general idea of the powers. I just got to see at rank 30 what exactly we can do. So let's excuse me. Let's see. Let's go back to that old. Well, let's see. Where else is there? That was new. Trying to see where else was new. Saturn, right? There's one on Saturn, I believe. Oh, here we go. Oh, Uranus junction. What? Oh, never mind. Okay, go on. All right. Something I'm missing. I know that there's one on Lua. Apollo. See how that works. This guy's at 30. Oh, he bought the whole package. He got the Exceltra and the carriers. It's not a bad idea to buy them rather than farm for them, but I already bought Gauss, so just want to see. I want to see what it's like to. You have to do these, which I hate that you're forced to have to do them. You know, it's manufactured difficulty and it's kind of manufactured content, but look, it is what it is. If you've been playing Warframe for less than, say, 2.5 years, you'll have stuff to do indefinitely.
Operator, incoming transmission. It's from Fortuna.
Alad selling the latest in asset security. Conduits. Put the key in and you can pull the shinies out. Trick is, you've got to wait to open. Something happens to the conduit before you can pull the goods. You don't get the goods. Ever. Also, the bleeders Alad sold the tech to will try to kill ya. Give that console the old bypass so we can get this thing started. This isn't your regular fault job. Alad V sold the conduits with interference routines specifically designed for the Tenno. Things might get a little weird. Conduit keys are carried by high-ranking mighty monks. Knock them down. See what they've got. key. Right. Find a matching conduit. Demo units looking to depart this mortal coil and take you with it. Keep it clear of that conduit.
Okay, I don't see.
Demo unit incoming. Don't let them near the conduit.
Good one.
Hear that beeping? Demo unit's on its way.
Okay, well, what the hell? What the hell are moonquakes?
Demo unit coming in fast. That thing blows and you can kiss the conduit goodbye.
Yeah, but where? Okay.
I had to pay Maru a small fortune in rations for this tip. Lock and load.
Where are these guys?
More of the old ultra-violence. Keep your back to
What
the
the hell
objective,
are
old mate.
moonquakes?
Lock it down till she pops.
Right for the crutch.
Demo unit coming in fast. That thing bows and you can kiss the conduit goodbye. Hear that beeping? Demo unit's on its way. Demo unit incoming. Don't let them near the conduit.
Really?
Wakey, wakey. Here we go.
Attack us, and we'll counter.
Fiddling with an incoming routine. How's that feel? part this mortal coil and take you with it. Keep it clear of that conduit.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out where you actually are.
About to reset. Feeling lucky? Fault signal returns. Dig in.
Love folks who love what they do.
The sentient has adapted to your damage. Surprise them with something new.
have the blue. Okay, I got the blue. And the blue is over and down.
It's getting a little hairy. One more round, what'd you say? Safety's off. We kicked a clown car. Here we go. Check, ejecting.
Post-migration, hopefully we won't spawn back in with those Demolists running dead at the towers we're trying to protect. I've seen that.
Conduit blown. Find another one.
Knew that was going to happen. Knew it was going to happen. Guys go. Okay, fellas, all right. So if I get a little bit more range by putting Cunning Drift in there, I think, have an effective means of crowd control. I think. Look on the beast. I'll have to get a dedicated squad. When I say dedicated, you know, I don't mean actually a dedicated squad. I mean people that'll hey. Not cool. Keep leaving so early. More relics. Somatic fibers. Now apparently those are used to build what's called a Lua lens. It will give you more focus than the Eidolon lenses. Right, and on paper, that sounds great, right? I'll show you something when I go in here. On paper, that sounds fantastic. But, watch this. Let's go into the focus schools. This is my Xeneric. I got 10, it's maxed out. I don't have this, I turn these off because I don't melee channeling. I could probably turn that off, but that I found that to be useful, like for Rhino. Pulls them all together, all the enemies together, and you come back out and you can do, if you've got his ironclad charge augment, and then you group them all up, then you hit them, and then you put on your iron skin. You've got like an unbelievable amount of iron skin health. I mean, it's like in the millions. It's crazy, depending on the level also. But anyway, all of these, look, these are all Uniro I don't even use, and I've got 4 million extra. Everything's unlocked. I turn these off because I don't need to, you know, they're off, but they're unlocked. They're all maxed out. See, +7, +7. They're all maxed out. I've got all of these, so it doesn't matter. Your way bounds are at least 2 on each. There are 2 skills on each tree for each school that you can unbind in order to use them on your operator, no matter what school you have. So these are always active, no matter, you know. So my guy's pretty tanky. He doesn't die right away. Increases operator energy. That's really good. Operator regeneration, void dash speed, movement speed. So those are open no matter what. But even with, like, look at this. I don't need anything else to boost up my focus points. I'm at 15 million, 16 million, and I don't use that much. I don't even use Xeneric as much. I probably use it more now because there's a whole lot more things that take your energy from you. But I mean, you're gonna give yet something else for newer players, and I'm not mad at that. I mean, I like the fact that at 100 days login, you know, new people have the choice to pick. You know, you've got a choice of 3. You can pick the Zenistar, which, if you're not at 100 days yet, at 100 days, pick the Zenistar. Most of the stuff, I'll tell you, hey, you know, it's player preference, however you choose to do it. You pick the Zenistar. Do what I'm telling you, and if you're under 100 days, pick the Zenistar. Alright? Do it. Other than that, everything else is you know, however you choose to do it. But I don't like how that, oh, here's what I want to do. I want to check the strength of these bows. These bows got a buff. So let's take a look at the pairs. I should have written down what they were before. I knew the buff was coming.
Excellent armaments, operator. Please return covered in blood. Safe and sound.
Well, that'd be crazy if I use... Wow. That is a considerable buff. That's considerable. Huh. Now, I don't know why I have magnetic, because I would never... I don't... Unless I'm forced to take a bow on a Corpus mission, unless it's like a sortie or something, I will take a bow for what? Shields and nullifiers? Yeah, thanks. You know, and it seems like every time that there's one of those missions, the little, I guess, siphon or spigot that's on top that controls the nullifier always moves behind them, so and you can't shoot through the bow. It's whatever, manufactured difficulty. But I mean, it's not impossible. It's not impossible to do. It's just a pain to do. All right, yeah, that's a considerable buff. Let me look at one more real quick, and then we'll finish maxing this guy up. Let's look at the Mutilus Ceranos. Wow, That's a lot more than it was. I do remember because I was working with somebody with they wanted the Mutilus Ceranos, because you know you can get it before your MR10, if I'm not mistaken. I know this guy was lower level and he wanted like a build for it, and we just kind of played around with one for the mods that he has. Doesn't have Prime Shred yet because that's a timed thing. That's a login reward. And Prime Cryo Rounds is it's expensive. If you're a newer player, that's expensive. And then if you trade and you say, well, I'll let somebody else buy it and I'll trade them for it, that's 1,000,000 credits. You don't realize how much 1,000,000 credits there are when you first start. You don't know. All right. So I meant to take that off. Ah, it's cool. It's the same color. That's weird. Alright. I will test the bows at a later date. I'll take each bow. I think the lens is the only one that didn't change. But I will test each bow at a later date. Oh, my. Now look, with just a regular point strike, that's considerable. With a regular point strike, you're at 125 crit chance. Now this wasn't that high. They had to have done something to it, because 200. My crit chance is higher than it was before. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. 200. Wow, that's nuts. That's nuts. And I think I was able, because they increased the charge rate, I think I was able to take speed. I didn't have to put speed trigger or vial acceleration on. If you don't have something like this that boosts it 95.6%, that's crazy. What was vial acceleration? 90%. So that's like putting, it doesn't matter because I wouldn't take it to fight Corpus. So it's more than vial acceleration, excuse me, and obviously more than speed trigger. at 60. Yeah. So now, one of the things, if we're talking about boosting up his speed, that amalgam serration has 10% less damage, but it boosted the sprint speed. And it goes on rifles, not just bows. So that's conceivably kind of nutty. All right, let's just take these last. I'm gonna do this. I need to finish. I gotta get that to my daughter. I need to finish ranking this guy up and start to form a brigade, because it's gonna take several. I may do an umbral build. Man, I'm almost certain I will. Let's see what I can bulk him, what I can boost him up with. Interception is one of the best ways to level your characters, but these guys won't stay. I know they're not going to stay. So we could do, if there's a sabotage here, that can give you some pretty good experience. Exterminate, not so much. Guys are just going to zoom through. So this one. Does it matter? Just grab anything. Yeah, the kinetic plating gives damage reduction. If I add some power strength to it, I can get, when you put the kinetic plating up, when that red line's up, then you can get 100% damage reduction. Excuse me. But you can get it pretty high if you add power strength. I just don't see power strength unless I'm going to try to squeeze an umbral build. I don't see adding power strength as a help.
Found, Fisher. Look out for reactant.
Makes a huge difference, though, with him with the reload speed.
Big reactant. Use it to crack open a relic. Fighting. Look for more reactant. Life support incoming.
Crazy. All I got is one. Wow. It's almost too far.
Another life support capsule is now available.
Speed down a little. super far. Everybody's in this room. Lazy pull your ass up. That's what happened.
Get ready for a capsule. Additional support has arrived.
Stupid. Keep going down. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, dude.
Warframe is strong.
Life support on the way.
These guys. Killing me.
I've delivered another life support capsule.
Nobody's gonna get turned.
When you are ready, go to extraction. So, off to a successful start. The reactant is working on your blood. Find more. Test. Prepare for life support. I've delivered life support.
Look at them. They come to this place when they know they are not pure. Tenno use the keys, but they are mere trespassers. Only I, Vor, know the true power of the Void.
The relic has been cracked. Finish your mission to find out what's inside. Life support on the way.
Let it be known, if the Tenno want true salvation, they will lay down their arms and wait for the baptism of my Yanis key. It is time. I will teach these trespassers the redemptive power of my Yanis key. They will learn its simple truth. I was cut in half, destroyed, but through its Yanis key, the Void called to me. It brought me here, and here I was reborn.
Additional life support has arrived. Get ready for a capsule. Another life support capsule is now available. We will all share in this battle. Hold out as long as you can. You are going to meet active if you want to open that relic. Tenno, prepare for life support. Life support has arrived. Another life support capsule available. That's it. You opened the relic. Finish your mission. Take a look inside.
You're making waves, Dreamer. I can feel.
Life support activated.
So one of two things has to happen
The longer you fight,
in order for me
the
to
more
be able to
successful we will be.
stand that. I've got to either increase the efficiency Well, I'm not sure what the hell I gotta do. Let's get him to 100 and then just look at it. But he's going through it very, very quickly. Maybe I need to be using my red line more, but I just don't feel like I have to.
Delivered another life support capsule. Don't forget the reactant. More to open that relic.
Jinn to respawn. That reawakening mod is almost mandatory for it. Not just necessarily him. He's back alive already. So when I'm using that, I it might make more sense to use natural talent. If I'm not using it, then no big deal. But
That's it. You opened the... Finish your mission and we'll take a look inside. Just found it. They could not do this without you.
couple of the guys did good though. It's new. It's hard if you don't. Some nice control
Mission
on
complete. Excellent work, Tenno.
Right there. Okay, so he's not. I don't know why I took that. Probably because I had thrown a couple form into it and I had thrown one more and then not done anything further with it. So, let's see. Let's see. Well, based on that, though, he's kind of squishy. He's kind of squishy. Right? So, I mean, you'd think 150, but I mean, it's sort of a melee frame. Excuse me. Health 740,
Operator,
that's
you
not
have remembered
terrible.
how the Tenno arm themselves.
But, and I think, Rush, I think I may very well change that at some point. But, Stretch, I guess, do it a couple of ways. Alright, so it's got a V. I need, for that, or for that, I need, let's just do this top row up here. Can't change the, I'll put all polarities up top so I don't, yeah, I gotta polarize it first. Okay, so, take that out. Let's take that and put that there. We're going to wind up putting whatever that is up here. The aura former, that's a possibility. Let's put that there. Will the aura... that won't let us do it again. Alright, so let's swap the polarities. I want to put that vitality up top there.
Operator, the system needs you. Will you begin another mission?
No, let's put it where Stretch is. And then we'll probably throw one more up than that one because it's kind of have to have duration on here. Duration could actually be longer. Okay. I'm just going to do vitality for right now. But I'm going to set up, I'm going to set this umbral. I'm going to set that up. Let's set that up. That's coming. Okay. I guess we'll leave Stretch in there for right now. Well, wait. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Thermal Sunder. We are going to change that. But let's just see the beginnings of this umbral build that pretty sure we'll do. Alright, crime flow. Alright. And these, look, if you're just starting out, don't worry about trying to max these out. Throw these, because you're going to get them at like half. You're going to get them half done. Collect is when you do the sacrifice quest. So get as many of those statues and get like as many credits as you can, because it was like to max these plus the melee mods for the Schiaggiati. These 5 mods, I think it was 2 million credits and like, I know it was like 180,000 endo or something like that. It was something ridiculous. So it's going to take you a while to max those out. You can still squeeze them into builds like brand new, you know, let's say you're under mastery rank 15. Like let's say you're around like 9 or 10, or you know somebody that's 9 or 10. Tell them to put all 3 of those in, because they're going to be halfway, and it's not going to be great, but you probably don't have vitality maxed all the way, probably don't have steel fiber or redirection maxed all the way. Jam them in. You can start as your, you know, just pick like a mod at a time to, you know what, I'm just going to max this out. Don't worry about it. You've got plenty to do before doing like endurance runs or whatever. Don't rush into it, because like I said, for the first 2.5, maybe 3 years, I mean, you'll have a lot to do. You'll have a ton to do, because you're not going to get a chance to play every day. More than likely, you're not going to get a chance to play every day. But even if you did, it's going to take you about 2.5, 3 years to, you know, get to have done everything. They don't have raids in here anymore, so you don't have to worry about trying to learn how to do those, which is sad for new players. That's sad. You know, that was fun. It wasn't about abilities or anything, because most of it you were just trying to, you know, that's where Vauban was actually, you know, you weren't trying to kill the enemies for the most part. Most of the guys, they ran it so often, it was like they weren't killing anything. They'd just crowd control things, stand there with horse kubros, and just be invisible the whole time. It got kind of boring, but you're talking the whole time that you're doing it. Excuse me. So it wasn't awful, but sometimes you just say, hey, look, we're going to kill stuff. Let's not worry about it. Let's see if our builds were viable, if we had, you know, done our weapons well enough, because it wasn't, you know, even let's say that you killed a bunch of enemies and they went up to level 150 or whatever. Well, we were doing survivals and doing, when you had to have keys to go into the void, we were staying for like 2-3 hours anyway, so those enemies weren't that tough. Some of the situations they'd put you in on the raids would make it tough. But I mean, for the people that have played this for a while, like myself, like it sometimes gets boring, simply because, again, I've done everything. There's nothing I haven't done. Some of these guys, like for my kids, I'll probably, like the original Atlas, I'll just buy that for them, because you have to have, in order to do the Jordis verdict, in order to do that quest line, you've got to have a great Arcwing setup. You got to have a great Arcwing setup, because that boss, he's kind of cool, but you got to have a great setup. If not, it's going to take you forever. He's going to kill you a bunch of times. You're going to lose interest and not wind up doing it. But if you got a great setup, man, it goes fast. There was a while where I would just, and not just me, but a bunch of us would just go through and keep helping people. We would keep helping those people and see how it would turn out, you know. See what they would wind up 356, yeah, and see what they'd wind up getting from it, because it's a hard farm. It's a hard farm. If you can sell some stuff, buy them off the market. Atlas is worth it. I mean, we got Atlas Prime coming up, but regular Atlas, even if you're just ranking him up for the mastery, he is worth it. He's worth it. He's very underappreciated. So let's see. That's not bad. 870 health. To start out with. It'll wind up being a decent umbral build. 166. I don't have to add any more power strength. The speed we'll get to later. That'll be for our open world stuff. But this one, the 145 wasn't bad. Wasn't horrible. Alright, real fast. Let's take a look at this. Spy.
You have loyalty issues, Tenno. My Zanuga project will fix that for you.
Oh, the regular allergy. Okay. It's not horrible. But it's not, I mean, you have to do the spy missions, but you have to get good enough to do the spy missions by yourself. Because there's nothing worse than, let's say you're sprinting around and you get 2 of them, and then somebody tries to take, and let me preface this by saying, you can do any mission in this game with any Warframe, but you have to understand the mechanics. You have to understand how something works. You can take Frost or whatever on a spy mission if you know how spies work. You can take anybody on a defensive mission if you got the right weapons and you know how your Warframe works. But there's nothing worse than, and I failed a bunch of missions on my own because I didn't understand, initially within the first I don't know couple of months of me playing, and I just went to said, you know what, look, let's go and go to every planet and figure out what works and what does not. And I gotta tell you, the new Jupiter tile sets, I'll give it this, their spy missions are fun. I enjoy them. They're different. You don't necessarily, having a stealth frame makes it easier, but it's not impossible to do. It's a lot of timing. It's a lot of understanding enemy patterns. It's really good. I enjoy it. And I think after you do the other ones, once you get the hang of those and those become boring, like even right now, maybe it's because it hasn't been out that long, but the Jupiter tile sets, the Gas City tile sets are I like them. They're different, and because they're procedurally generated and they're different every time, I mean, they're the same, but the positioning of certain things is different. So you go out there and you have to have your parkour skills together. It's a lot that you have to have done. You don't want to go right to that right away. All right. So it's a good thing that Jupiter opens up for you later after you do certain things on the star chart. But it's Jupiter's fun to go to. I always enjoy going there. Whereas before I was like, ugh, okay. So you know what? I've got to get my PlayStation fixed because I don't want to. My fan was acting up, and they're going to repair it for me. That's pretty cool. But I'll get to this at another time. I'm going to do this later. Hope you enjoyed the playthrough, and hope you learned something. And if you didn't learn something, I hope you just, paid attention to Gauss isn't bad. He's not bad. again, for a melee frame, he's not that tanky, but we can fix it. I mean, it's still gonna. I still probably have 2 or 3 more Forma left to make him halfway decent. Because if you look, like Hydroid is one of the few that I haven't put a bunch into. Hildren has a lot of and Loki for sure, only 1, but there's so many of his for how I decided to build him. He already had everything in it, right? For this one, I can do anything. I got duration. He stays invisible for 30 seconds. I got irradiating disarm. And that's even with a minimal range. If I got just a straight disarm build, let's say I got 280 range. You know what I mean? If I'm like in a defense or something like that, I want to just throw it out there, and I'll probably wind up taking Cunning Drift out. But right now, that's like whole maps, so everybody will have like their weapons taken. So you don't have to add Forma to certain ones. Again, it's based on your play style. It's based on how you play. But if you look at the other ones like Necros, and it's really only 7 Forma. I changed another one, and then I think I put an Aura Forma in here, so that still counts. But look, Nidus has 8. I got 2 different Revenants, and this is before we had the Umbral Forma. So this one with just 4 is the. I think this is the one I put all 3 Umbral mods on. Yeah. Yeah, and if I had the Umbra Forma, then I may or may not have placed it in there and left me some space to put something else in here. And I didn't even think about putting anything else in there because I couldn't. And you want to bump his shields up anyway because he gets over shields quick. Anyway, I will at some point put Gauss back up after I have done what I needed to do with him. Get him where I think he can handle some long runs. I'll try the Kuva disruption at some point. Anyway, thanks for paying attention. I appreciate it, and we'll see you later.